Hello, I'm M.A. Bennett, but you can call me Marina. I'm going to tell you about something amazing that happened just about exactly 100 years ago. On the 4th of November 1922, the greatest archaeological discovery of all time was made in the Valley of the Kings in Egypt, which is just about here. It was an expedition led by a man called Howard Carter, and everybody thinks that Howard Carter is the person who discovered Tutankhamun. But they're wrong. The person who actually discovered Tutankhamun was only a 12-year-old boy. He was Howard Carter's water boy, and his name was Hussein Abdul Rasul, and he's the one who stumbled on this tomb almost by accident. He was carrying water for Carter's expedition on his mule, and his mule stumbled on a stone set into the desert. Abdul fell from his mule, and as he was getting up, he spotted this long, regular stone. It didn't just look like some old stone that would just be dropped on the desert floor. So Howard Carter turned back. He looked at the stone too, and he recognized it for what it was. Not a stone, but a step. He thought it was the top step of a series, and he had his team come back and excavate every single step, and there were 12 in all. And at the bottom of the steps was a door, and the door had a handle which was sealed, and it had been sealed for 3,000 years. On the seal was a special piece of writing called a hieroglyphic, and this special hieroglyphic meant Tutankhamun. There were 4 little symbols: a scarab, basket, and a series of lines, and a sun. And at that point, Howard Carter knew what lay behind that door. Now, when they went into the tomb, they found an absolute treasure trove, gold everywhere, unimaginable treasure. And what they also found was something which I'm going to describe using this doll. It was not one, but 4 different coffins, all nested inside each other. First of all, there was a beautiful coffin made of stone and carved with all those hieroglyphics I told you about. Inside that was another coffin made of jewels and gold, and also beautifully carved. Inside that was a coffin made of solid gold. And inside that one was Tutankhamun himself, his mummy, wrapped in bandages and precious ointments and leaves and flowers. And on his face, an amazing golden mask, one that you may recognize if you've ever heard about Tutankhamun or seen any pictures of him on the TV or online. So that was the treasure that this 12-year-old boy found. And now I'm going to give you a writing challenge. How would you feel if you were Abdul and you found Tutankhamun and you were the first person to walk into that tomb for 3,000 years? What would it smell like? Would it smell of old stone? What would the sand feel like beneath your feet? Would you be happy, excited? Would you love to look at all the treasure? Or would part of you feel like you shouldn't really be there as it was somebody's grave? And there's another dimension to this. There were lots of rumours about a curse swirling around Tutankhamun and threatening anybody who dared to disturb his sleep. So would that be on your mind when you enter the tomb? I'm going to read you a little bit of what I wrote in my book, The Mummy's Curse, which is all about the discovery of Tutankhamun. In this book, I have 3 time thieves called Luna, Aidan, and Constantine, and they travel forward from 1894 to 1922, and they're there when Abdul discovers the tomb with their friend and mentor, Arthur Conan Doyle, another author. So I'm going to read you a little bit about how I tackled this scene. Abdul, with a delighted smile, snatched up a lamp too and started to walk slowly down the stairs, aware of the honour of being the first soul to do so in 3,000 years. The time thieves, trembling with excitement, followed with Conan Doyle bringing up the rear. They all gathered at the bottom of the steps. There was a door, ancient and entire, with seals intact. "Look," said Luna. The cartouche of Tutankhamun, remember? The little basket, the sun, the scarab, and the 3 lions. Go on, said Conan Doyle to Abdul. With shaking hands, Abdul broke the seals. The door opened with a centuries-old croak, and they were inside. There was a short, narrow passageway, smelling of ancient stone, and for a moment they thought they were heading for disappointment. But in a very short time they found themselves in a chamber, small, crowded with things, and quite untouched. Lift the lamps high, said Conan Doyle, in a voice choked with emotion. They did. They were standing in a treasure chest of gold, pure gold. So that's how I met the writing challenge. I'm sure you can do better than that. I'd love to hear what you come up with. Have fun, and look out this November. There'll be lots and lots of different things in the press and online about Tutankhamun, because it's 100 years since he was discovered in that lonely tomb in the Valley of the Kings.